Welcome to today's crash course. I am Korey Carlisle.
And I am Geitor.
And we're going to talk about psychology. In this wonderful crash course, we're going to be talking about social psychology. We're going to be talking about topics that are easily confused with one another. I bet you were wondering, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're talking about social loafing versus social facilitation. Social loafing and social facilitation are a part of a small group. A small group is basically a group of things that are classified into one category, such as family, friends, etc. Let's talk about social loafing first. Well, back in my younger days, they said I was a social loafer, but I'm not. Basically, a social loafer is a person that tends to do less work when involved in a group. Now let's talk about how it happens and the results of social loafing. Now, social loafing occurs when an individual feels as though his input into the group's work isn't going to make the grade any better. So he may tend to fall back or, do something else instead of putting his effort or main focus on the group. Social loafing can occur because of two reasons. We have the sucker effect and the free rider effect. Now these two reasons makes a social loafer. Sorry guys, I had to get a coat, start getting cold out here. But let's get right back into it. Just by definition, we can tell that social loafing and social facilitation is very different from one another. But while doing further research, I found that social facilitation is not just when an individual does better in working in a group project. It depends on the complexity of the work. If the work tends to be harder, then the individual may seem to lack off than putting in his effort in the work. But if the work is easier, then he may tend to do good or contribute better to the presentation or project. But that has been another episode of Crash Course. Now we'll let Geitor finish it off with obedience versus conformity.
What is the difference between conformity and obedience? Conformity is when you modify your behaviors, attitudes, beliefs, and opinions to more closely resemble that of those around you or the standards of your social environment. Obedience is when you modify your behavior because you're being told to do so by a figure of authority. So basically, obedience occurs when you're told to do something, whereas conformity happens through social pressure.